Alright, hello. Everything seems to be doing okay. Hopefully the music's not too loud, who knows? I never know anymore. OBS is all over the place. Hello everyone, hello, my name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read. I'm a white woman with a grey jumper, it's a bit stripy on. I'm also grey in general, I don't feel well. Oh, hello friend, Harob. How are you doing, my friend? Nice to have you here. Yep, I look tired. I've had a bit of a mixed couple of days, but I'm here and I'm ready to do Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs, which, if you're here for the first time, we are looking at, this is an accountability read-along stream where essentially I will read, or take an RPG of interest, whether it's from the Bookcase of Doom or from the Google Drive of Mystery. I hope everyone else is doing alright. Sorry, that was a bit of a negative start, me going like, "Ugh, I'm tired." Yeah, I woke up not feeling very well this morning. Nothing like debilitating, I guess, but yeah, just a bit tiresome. So I was like, oh. But now we've got a new schedule. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and of course, I've decided to do like Too Long Didn't Reads on Wednesdays now, just because I want to keep going, and I've got the most free time on Wednesdays currently. Hello, the Lord Mistress. I see you peeking in there. Nice to have you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we're just gonna go, and see, I'm all over the place already. Typical. Let's just get straight down to it, friends. So today we are going to be looking at The Triangle Agency by A Haunted Table. It is a TTRPG that is set in the present day, wielding enormous reality warping power, navigating bureaucracy, red tape, and juggling your everyday responsibilities. I hope you feel better soon. I work with migraines, so I get it. Oh, mate, I hope you're feeling all right. Migraines are the bloody worst. Yeah, I feel a bit snotty and a bit like down about some things. Nothing exciting, but that's why I'm here. To get myself kicking and grooving into the week, midweek. But yeah, we're going to look at Triangle Agency, which I feel like has been a bit of a sleeper hit. I mean, like, it seemed to have like a really successful funding campaign last year, and then it came out and there wasn't much, and then suddenly everyone's talking about it, and I was very curious about it. I backed it at the time as well because I thought the actual marketing campaign behind it was very interesting, and yeah, so we're just going to have a look at it. What I'm going to say up top is that we're not going to look at the full core book. Where I can, I try and look at like quick starts and samples and all that sort of thing, because the I don't want people to be like, oh well, I must get this book, shell out however much money for it is, and then they go, actually it's not a very good book. We want to see like what we can get from samples and stuff. Like, sometimes I already own the thing, so that's not too bad, but yeah, just to let people know that you can get a sample of the Triangle Agency. I'll show you where you can find it as well. I'll just put the link again. It's on their itch. But yeah, so as always, we're going to just start off with some disclaimers. Go to a place where you can find it and look at the marketing copy, and then just go dive in about an hour and a half to see what we can see and then make our judgments about what we like about it, what, if anything, we can improve about it, and yeah, would we run this for our tables as well? So let's start off with the disclaimers. So one, I am not a game designer. I'm getting ever closer, it feels like, but I will never do it. But I run a lot of games, I read a lot of games, and I do it because I really enjoy learning and like creating stories that use different systems and not the same system, because I feel like everyone should play different systems and get enjoyment out of it, because then it's not on one person to know one system really well, it's up to everyone to know different systems and to know different tastes and stuff. And as a result, that means I get to read a lot of stuff, but also, it doesn't mean I know everything about game design. I'm talking about, when I'm looking at TTRPGs, something from my point of view. I run games, I do them for podcasts, I do them for content, I also do them for home games as well. So I try to be like, what works for my table, what works for my GMing style, and that might be completely different to everyone else's. So take any critique I have with a pinch of salt, massive pinch of salt, because especially, and I say this all the time, we are reading it through, which is obviously very important. You must always read through some RPGs, but also, we're not playtesting it, we're not running this game just now, so maybe it's going to be a different experience when you bring it to the table as well. Start grooving into the week. It's already Wednesday. Hey! Some of us have time. A story of my life. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, though. I'm glad we're starting the week together. Sounds good. So I'm not a game designer by any means, but I feel like I've got a good enough expertise in RPGs at this point that hopefully some of the stuff I find is useful for people out there looking for reviews or sort of like how do you play certain games. Number 2 is obviously I've not been sponsored by Haunted Table to do this. I do this of my own free will. I'm not biased in any way. Like I said, I have backed the Kickstarter campaign, so I do have the full copy of it somewhere. But as I said, we're going to look at the sample today because I want to make sure that when we're coming to the game, people aren't like, oh, I must buy it, and then they don't like it. That's the sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not been sponsored by Haunted Table, and I actually don't know what else they've done. So maybe we'll have a quick look at that as well. And then finally, content warnings. So from what I understand, it is time travel, bit warping. So maybe it's a bit. I'm just trying to think of any time travel. I mean, Doctor Who is obviously my go-to. I don't think it's like Doctor Who. It feels very much like changing timelines and stuff like that. So a bit like How We Lost the Time War and all that sort of thing. That's what the sort of vibe I get from this is. But who knows? We'll probably find out as we play through, or read through, sorry. But I'll try and give content warnings as we go. But obviously, if it's not your style, not your bag, no worries. Come back if and when you're ready, and we'll see you on another stream. I love that book. Hello, Ben Invincible. Nice to have you here. Yes, Okay, let me start with my controversial take. I thought this is how you lose or win the time war. I always get it the wrong way around. I thought it was an okay book. Don't get me wrong. I love the concept of it. I love the fact it was 2 authors writing it, but I thought it took so long to get going. I think it was supposed to be a slow burn. And there was lots of verbose things, and of course there was lots of jargon because obviously he's trying to put you into the sci-fi stuff. I skipped over big paragraphs on it because I didn't care for it, and I feel really bad because I love the concept of it. And for me, it needed to be much snappier, quicker, because you're in the middle of a time war. You don't have time to write these long letters. So yeah, it's like I said, it wasn't for me personally, but I love the concept of it, and I love the idea that there was 2 writers for it for each individual character. I thought that was really cool, and it feels very improv-y. I just thought the writing style was just not for me at all. And but I would recommend people checking it out as a structure, because again, you get so much out of it and thinking like, okay, you have 2 people writing a story together, very improv-y, very role play. So yeah, I loved all those themes about it, and I thought I enjoyed the ending. Like I knew what the ending was going to be, and I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, I was a bit like, there was just lots of verbose words and like details of stuff, and I was like, I don't know if this is important or not, or if it's just the jargon because we're in the sci-fi world. Anyway, so that's my hot take. I wonder if the audiobook is better. That's the only thing I'd say, because I bet that would be a much more interesting thing, because I was just really struggling to read it, so maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind to read it. Anyway, enough of my hot takes on books that people should read, but yeah, each to their own. Let's go over to the Triangle Engine. We're going to go over to the itch page. Ooh. Oh, I missed that hot take. Oh, Sam Size. Well, I hate all RPGs. No, okay. I came in on that's my hot take. I recommend The Ministry of Time, then. Oh, is that a book, Ben Invincible? Like a fiction book, or is that another TTRPG book? Yeah, Sam Size. I was just talking about how we win or lose the time war. I can't remember which way around it is. I think it's an okay book. Like, I like the concept of it. I like how it's written by 2 different people. It's a bit too much slow burn for me, and I just think it's very verbose when it should be shortened down. Like the concept, but yeah, that was my hot take, because everyone raves about how great the book is, and I'm like, it is good. I skipped over big like swaths of paragraphs in it, and I was saying like I feel like the audiobook will probably be a lot better there. My partner hates me with a passion. Oh, I'm not alone. I feel so validated. Fantastic. Can I ask why they dislike it? Is it because of the characters, or is it like I'll be very curious, because everyone I know loves it, and I don't feel comfortable saying like I thought it was all right. So I'd love to know. You aren't alone. Oh, my people, hello. Anyway, let's keep talking in the chat about it. Let me talk about the Triangle Entrances. As you can see, this is where we can get it. I'll put another link in so it looks like I'm actually doing some work here. So yeah, the Triangle Entrances first. So on the itch page for Haunted Table, we can see. Let me open up a new link there. So this is. Oh, well, firstly, they've actually done some good job with actually designing the stuff. I know this sounds really silly, but when I find an itch page, it's back to the RPG, yes. The design of itch pages, I think it's very difficult to do, but I think something like this, again, you've got a very big logo at the top, so you don't see much, but I like how they've just, they've designed it in such a way, or they've moved it in such a way so it looks a little bit more complete. It doesn't have to be too like full or anything like that, but sometimes you go to an itch page and you go, God, there's nothing here. But yeah, we can see here, so obviously Triangle Agency is the main game that they've done, but we've got some other ones here, some one night, some testing ones there. Oh, maybe we should have looked at the free test version. We're looking at the sample version for this today. Sam Sai says, it is the verbose and overflowing nature, apparently. I like the concept and I like the game's inspired by it, but I haven't read it properly. Your partner is right. I absolutely agree. Again, I think what it's supposed to... Alright, sorry, I'm going to finish this. I think the problem I have with it, it's supposed to be that slow burn and very sort of maybe sapphic romance that and I get that. I love that sort of thing. But when you put it up against a background of a time war, and you have these messages which could be intercepted, it just takes... I understand it's like those moments in between all the bad stuff happening, and then also with all the language of like it being very sci-fi jargon, so you don't know if it matters or not. It just... I don't know. It just takes a long time to get to the point, and it's just not my vibe. And it's a shame because, again, love the concept. I like the games inspired by it, but I feel like games that have been inspired by it, when I've played them, it's so much better than the book itself. But I do like how it's written by two different authors from each point of view. I think that's really cool. Anyway, so look at the triangle energy. So yeah, so here we have, again, I love this sort of background. I know it doesn't really matter too much for the actual buying of the game, but like instantly I'm like, oh, what's this sort of like swirling sort of miasma we've got here? I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can read it. So I know the first thing you're going to think of, goodness me, it's $30 US. I will say the full version is about 300 pages. It's a lot. Like, again, you're getting a full like setting and a system from the sounds of it. And yeah, like it was very successful on, I think it was on Kickstarter. And you can also, excuse me, get some physical copies and dice as well from the actual, let's go to their website, shall we? Yeah, look at that. I mean, look at all the artwork. Okay, and this website's great as well. There you go, there's a, interesting. So again, just from, maybe I've zoomed in a little bit too much. Hang on, let me just double check. Nope, that's exactly the size it is. Amazing. You can see here all the stuff you would get for it. So you got like the actual physical book there. It's quite a hefty one. We've got missions for it. Got this big old like briefcase style box it comes in, and you've got these dice here as well. D4 dice. Interesting. That's what you got. What up? What up? Hello, hello, Shaheed. How are you doing, my friend? I've also been playing Triangle Agency a lot recently, and I've been really enjoying it. Oh, amazing! Oh well, maybe you could give us some top tips as we're talking about it, because yes, as I said, we're not going to look at the full version today. We're going to look at the sample version, which you can get if I scroll the way down here. You've got a demo version here. So this is what we're going to do. This is like the first, I want to say 23 pages of stuff. So if you're not sure, I'm well. I hope you're well. Taking a break from some work. Good. Work hard. I know that's what you do. So yeah, so like the sample pages here, again, just because... Again, it's $30. If you're not sure about a game, like you're like, oh, I don't know. So I think any kind of sample, whether it's a quick start or sample pages, it's always good to look at those first to see if you like it. There you go. You said want to learn more before you buy. Check out this. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about it. So the first things first. Let's talk about the actual marketing copy that we see here. We've got some imagery here. Got a different banner image than to maybe what we have as the actual cover image, which is this, which looks like to be an individual in all blue suit wearing red heels and then with a briefcase coming out. And it says, Triangle Agency, clock in, save the world. I like that. Boom, boom. Simple tagline. Love the art. I have all those books and dice. Oh, hello, Jason. Nice to have you here. Yes. Like I was saying, we're looking at the PDF version today, but the dice looked very interesting, didn't they? Those D4s. So, welcome to the first job of the rest of your life. Triangle Agency is a tabletop role-playing game in the present-day setting about wielding enormous, reality-warping power, navigating bureaucratic red tape, and juggling your everyday responsibilities. Player characters work at the Triangle Agency, an international corporation with influence in every industry. As field agents, players will investigate and capture supernatural anomalies. Interesting that we've got it bold there to be like, this is what the point of it is. Looks like control, yeah. That threaten the lives and comfort of normal citizens. Designed for campaigns of 10 to 30 missions. Ooh, or high energy one-shots. Our brand new game system creates seamless transitions between chilling horror, wacky comedy, and the emotional truth of trying to survive in a world with no right answers. How interesting. I guess my sort of vibe instantly from maybe this particular image of the cover is very much paranoia. in a sense of like bureaucracy. Like you're never sure, who, you're like, well, not me, it's so and so. That's what I feel like from the vibes of it. But I don't think that is the case. I mean, like, we've got a very simple aim here of capturing supernatural anomalies, which again I'm thinking of stuff like Hunter the Reckoning, perhaps. Again, you got that supernatural aspect there, and then this is quite an interesting USP: campaigns of 10 to 30 missions. Now, obviously, I assume that's like stories rather than like sessions. Or how you entry monsters, but I like how it's upfront by going like, hey, this is definitely a mid-length to longish campaign that you're going to be doing. I think I very much appreciate it. Oh, hello, Nathan. They did a great job producing an enticing product. The art is great throughout the book, and the briefcase-themed physical book really sells the theme. Yes, we were looking at that here. With sort of like the physical thing. Because again, like I said, I backed it as a PDF, and I get it because I'm trying to be a bit careful about just backing things with physical stuff, just because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be any good, especially if they're quite expensive. But yeah, I quite like that. Again, thinking about if you've got it in your hand, having props, giving you that immersion, I think is really, really cool. Jason says, what I love about the main book is that it's treated like a corporate employee handbook, and the GM section is for managers, and they really lean into this theme. It makes the book fun to read. Oh, amazing. Yes, I did hear that. There was I don't know who it was. There was somebody, I think maybe it was J Dragon or one of the team from Rascal, that was talking about how the reading, the point of view in the book, exactly as you were saying, was that sort of the point of view is like it's treating players as if they're employees. So again, going back to that paranoia sort of style, the handbook there is like is it greeting citizens, like you are red level clearance for this, all that sort of thing, treating them like that, and then sort of interweaving the game mechanics with this sort of language, which I always thought was interesting. I think the issue I had with Paranoia, and this is not the latest version but the one before, was that the jokes and the comedic aspect of it, like the whole sort of are you a traitor stuff, and then other aspects of it as well, which haven't aged very well, it kind of got in the way of like finding out what the game is for brand new players such as myself. So yeah, it's always weird to have the YouTube reference live, like communicating through a parallel universe. Exactly. The way the book is looked at is like Sam says the way the book is laid out is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's ridiculous and I loved it. And Jason says, yeah, they nailed the theme and design really well. Oh, amazing. Well, we will get into it. Let's just see. So, like, if you're going to get the full version, it's 300 page, fully illustrated game book. Here's what we get. So we have learn about the mysterious Triangle Agency and your role in advancing its mission in the Field Agent's Manual, which features basic game rules, story guidelines, setting details, and important regulatory information for compliance with the agency standards and practices. I think I've read these books before at my old job. Action and conflict builds naturally with our all-new stable/chaos rule system. Okay, so that's the system we're using. Okay, where every role creates chaos for anomalies to spend on powerful effects and obstacles. Ooh, fun! I like that. So that we know what the mixed complication is going to be. It's going to be the anomalies, which presumably your GM is using to spend. I like that. Build your agent character by selecting their arc. Each player selects 3 pieces representing the agent's anomaly, reality, and competency. Nice, I like that. I like that sort of little synonym. Creating up to over 700 starting combinations and a complete personal set of abilities as they grow and change. Now, I don't know about you folks watching this. I care not for this. I care not for numbers, but like you could create many different kinds of combinations. I'm like, cool, I probably won't create more than like 2 or 3. I like that. I mean, what it's trying to say is like every character is unique, even if you like pick similar things, they're going to be very different, and I like that. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like any numbers like that, I mean, I don't know, maybe it fits into this whole theme of like bureaucracy or something like that, but I'm just like going like, I don't need those numbers. That's just a me personally thing, but like I like the idea of like this arc thing and like selecting these pieces. That sounds very cool. Receive advice from the agency on how your GM can prepare and run missions using the General Manager's Toolkit, including examples of interesting anomalies and ways to bring your agency branch to life. And then finally, as your players grow in power and prestige, peer behind the play wall to access hidden powers, items, and hidden details of Triangle Agency's story. Inspired by legacy board games? Oh, interesting. Okay. The play world documents provide countless hours of discovery and surprise, accessible only by playing the game. Now that, to me, sounds very much another game I can think of that does that sort of like legacy game, an RPG that does that is obviously your Zaber's Bread and Breakfast. Like you have these, I think it's 100 chapters that you could play and like redo the stories. And if you do the stories in certain ways, you unlock later chapters, you get stickers, you do all this sort of thing. So I like that. I like the idea that you gain more by playing it over and over again. So it should feel like you're aiming to do something. Very cool. Very cool. All right. And interesting as well, if you're ready to play but need inspiration or preparation, check out their next book, The Vault Missions for Triangle Agency, and 2 of them are currently available for free. Now, I don't know if that's true at time of streaming. Let's see. Dude, we've got a whole... Again, having all this information up here is great. That's a horrific image, also. I'll just scroll past that quickly. There you go, download a demo. Sample missions, Dead Quiet, and Nosedive. Incredible. So, I like... This is the thing. Like, again, that's the thing where I don't know if I would suggest spending $30 on a book straight away, but the fact that they're like, hey, here's the first 20-ish pages, and here's 2 missions you can play. Amazing. And also, I'd say, scrolling down a bit, not only do you have sample pages, but you also have both a PDF version of the character sheet, but also a form fillable version as well. Incredible. Love that. Nathan says, agree, the you have X combinations is not exciting, especially knowing that Pathfinder or the like is out there for the options fiends. That's very true. Again, it's... I don't know. I'm someone that never thinks about... When I create characters, I go, okay, what's something I'd like to play right now? I don't think to myself, oh, but what if I do, a ranger, but then mix in with a bit of warlock or this, I don't have the brain for that. That's not how I play stories. I know other people do, and I know like if you're playing stuff like maybe Elden Ring or Dead Souls, yeah, or like even Borderlands or anything like that, you're like constantly customizing and min-maxing stuff. That's cool. That's just not for me. I like playing stories once and then done. It's a good marketing line, but useless in practical terms. That's true. Maybe again, it's maybe feeding into that the vibe of the bureaucracy. Like, we've got over 700 combinations for our field agents. I also, again, I like the idea. Again, just from going off this, that field agent. That sounds like what your player character's called. You've got the arc. Anomalies, also presumably the enemies and stuff. I'm guessing general manager is your name as a GM. So instantly I'm like going, that's what I want. I want cool names for me. That's what I like. Dark Souls, Demon Dark Souls. Thank you, team. Yes, I was like, yeah, that's sort of like roguelite. You constantly die, but you can really customize like your character type and make it difficult for you to go. As you can tell, I don't play those games. All right, let me go to the Adobe. There we go. So as I said, we're looking at the sample today. So currently it says 17 pages, and I know like the first couple of pages are going to be like a bit of artwork and maybe some back pages as well. So like I said, we're not going to look at the full game today. So let's see. So first of all, we'll do the test. There is no alt text, unfortunately, which is a shame because I think, again, the artwork, as has been described in the chat, is really interesting. It's very bright. If I go down to this sort of spread here, I'll zoom out. Can I zoom out a little bit? Yeah, I can. How cool is that image? We have like really cool looking individuals with like long hair, holding briefcases and long coats with glasses on, and then it looks like, I want to say like a tentacle with eyes that's sort of warping into the miasma of time. Yeah, it's got that sci-fi, it's got that sort of anime element, all really cool. It's just a shame there's no alt text on it, and it's so vibrant as well. I'm sure it's more vibrant in person from the book. Bottom left is a Tumblr sexy man. It's true. I feel like Disco Elysium is my sort of pull for that as well. But yeah, but we have stuff like, you've got staplers here, we've got like, the briefcase, again, so maybe it's that sort of thing where, I mean, I know Severance is sort of set sort of nowadays, but like that idea of like maybe it's more 70s or 80s with like office space type things. Like we've got telephones here, so we're not using maybe like mobile devices. So it's almost like an alternate history, but also in the future, which is really, really cool. All right, moving down. Whoa, look at that placeholder image. That piece there is basically, we have like a triangle sort of white spot in the middle, and then we have that sort of like cool, I want to say even like lava lamp kind of like swirl coming out of it. So yeah, I'm really getting that really sort of like, I say retro vibes, don't worry, I know what I mean, but like that sort of like cool, sort of sexy, like it's very cool to be part of the Triangle Agency. And maybe that's because of the, again, it's so different to Paranoia, which is like, greetings, greetings, troubleshooters, you know. And then here we've got on the left, I'll move us across. I think it's just, these are double spread. Yeah, it's a double spread, unfortunately, even with my single. Ooh, let me move that. No, wrong thing. No. But here we have Triangle Agency, which I think the logo is very cool as well. You're like replacing the A's with triangles and then having red on it. It looks like a proper corporate thing, isn't it? Really cool. That art is pretty damn shiny. The slow descent involves paperwork too for that extra terror. Oh no, don't say that, Nathan. No one likes paperwork. Oh, it's very Severance. Yes, exactly. Dice Tales, hello friend. I just finished my tax return and it only cost me 1d6 sanity. Oh well, Dice Tales, do you want to do my tax return? I very much appreciate it. And again, if I go back, so sorry, I always forget this. So I always talk about this. So like, not only do we have like the logo, the actual name. Of course, I know it's alt text. We don't have it in like a text readable form. Make triangle agent on the front. Clock in, save the world. Have that bam, little small title. But look, we've got the writers' names. Oh, which is screen readable on the front page. Great. I know I keep going on about it, but put your name on your work. So many people put like a really cool cover and then don't put any text on it or readable text on it, or even like the logo from your publishing house on it. And I understand why they don't do it. They maybe put it, on the cover, on the spine of the book or on the back. But I feel like if it's a PDF, the first thing, this image is going to be used everywhere. Put your name on it, and so they've got it there for sure. And I know they've got other like marketing social graphics that doesn't have that in. But yeah, here we go. They've also got the Haunted Table logo there as well. And then we've got that first page. Admittedly, the first couple of pages seem to be credits and stuff like that, which is absolutely fine. And you've got these. Sorry, I have to talk about this as well. Like, I love it when books credit like the different fonts that they use, in the title, in the body, and in the additional text as well. I know that doesn't sound very important to to people who are like, I just want to read the book. But I think you can be really inspired by a book if you're like, wow, this is a really cool font that they're doing. Like, feels like an instruction manual, or it feels like an old tome or something like that. Because like font choices really do affect how people read. We hear this all the time about people using Comic Sans in science presentations because they feel like it's a way to get over that communication in a friendly manner, when really people go, not Comic Sans. I just think that's really, I always think it's really good to not only credit who's designed your stuff, but also like, hey, the text and the font, this is where you can get it, or what the name of it is, because people will always ask. I get asked about it all the time for the Where and DM's book club logo. And then obviously we've got the credits here and the back as the supporters, which is nice. All right. You probably didn't see any of that, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, there you go, on the left side. I'll move this back over. There we go. So, let's read the terms and conditions. This is good. Snap, grapple, pop. Hello, friend. That white triangle picture is making me want to listen to White Stripes' Seven Nation Army. Well, you know what? That's a good day. Very good. Sorry, Dice Tales. Jesus says, Fiona, any game involving supernatural that doesn't delineate to a slow, tortuous descent into madness is no fun. Well, that's true. Maybe that happens here. Who knows? And a slow descent involves paperwork too for that extra terror. Damn. Okay, so let's look at the terms and conditions. So if you are reading this document, you have been selected to participate in the Triangle Agency's tabletop role-playing game initiative. Bang on, loving this vibe. So for your safety and continued stability of your universe, you are required to abide by the following conditions. Reading pages out of order is dangerous. Attempt at your own risk. 2. Reading numberless pages is forbidden and hazardous to your continued employment. 3. The text in this volume may not be interpreted. You may only read and execute its context as intended by the Triangle Agency. All information beyond this point is agency property. Continued reading is considered agreement that all eyes, ears, thoughts, and digits involved in the consumption of this information also belongs to the agency. There is no need for this, but if it generates positive feelings, you may sign your name as a reminder of the important life decision you are making of your own will. And then it's almost like a signing document. And it says here, I enthusiastically acknowledge the terms and conditions outlined above. Look at those vibes. Again, I can imagine as a physical copy, that's quite a fun thing to have. I do like this idea of like, yeah, getting information, you've got to read it in chapter order, and that certain pages are forbidden to players and to field agents, but maybe for management. Quite good. Yeah, loving that vibe. All right. Moving over. So it says, wait! You are not authorized to proceed until you have read the terms and conditions located just to your left. Well, we've already done that. If you read this page first because of the large dramatic text iconography, or because it seems more approachable, you are an easy target for weaponized visual design. We have noticed this in your file. Safe navigation of this document is imperative. Use the following guide to ensure that you are reading authorized sections. And then it splits it out here. Oh, this is amazing. I love this. This shows you how important a good layout and good graphic design really is. Like, because this could easily just be like just a big chunk of text with some icons. So we have here the red section is for field agents, so this is for the actual players, I'm guessing. General manager, that's for the people running the game. Only general managers may read this section. And then play wall documents. This non-linear section protects dangerous information and must only be accessed when necessary. You are not yet authorized to determine when is necessary. Amazing. And then if you're comfortable with your limitations, progress to the following page to begin your training. Welcome to the Triangle Agency. I like the use of colours as well. I think I don't, again, forgive me, in terms of accessibility, like obviously, oh, she says, it is screen readable. Those icons aren't. Again, if you have alt text, that would be helpful here. I think the color is good. Like, again, that big text, it feels very much like authoritative. And yeah, it being in different colors helps. Again, I'm not sure about maybe color blindness or anything. I don't know if there's a red-blue color blindness, but it seems like, again, like you should be differentiating enough if you're looking through, perhaps. But I like it red, blue, and then black as the 3 different sections. Sam says, 2 players immediately told me they went and read the wrong part, so I had to take the general manager's role very seriously. Sam, yeah, I feel like you're going to have to retrain those field agents, to be honest with you. Nathan says, I'd recommend that players actually print out their character sheets if they can. Having to physically update their personal files ties quite nicely with the theme. Yes, well, I've got a copy here of the character sheet. This is the form fillable one. Which is nice, and I quite like it. Again, it feels very much that sort of like corporate-esque type thing. Like someone's trying to make a let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. Oh, there's 11 pages to this as well. Hang on. There you go. So you can see, like, it feels it's very easy to read. We've got this sort of like the arc thing up here. So the A anomaly, R reality, and competency C, and then. I like, oh, it is like a proper form that you fill in. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks. Work-life benefits. That's very cool. And then custom tracks, etc. Yeah, I can imagine actually you'd print it out and have it like a little like binder or folder that you would bring to every session. That would be really cool. I guess the only thing I would say is, and you could put an image of that's cool. Is there a black and white version? Just because I can imagine the yellow might not show up well, and obviously coloured ink is expensive as well. I was just thinking it's quite light in terms of like using that sort of ink, I would say, but maybe a black and white version would be good as well. But just from a quick look at it, it's so clean. I instantly get the vibe of this character, like what we're kind of playing already. Yeah, so again, as a physical prop, that would be really cool as well. So yeah, good shout, Sam. Not Sam. Sam was talking about the game. Good shout, Nathan. Very much appreciate it. All right, let's move on. Let me zoom out a little bit. Maybe that might be better for this one. Field Agent Manual Triangle Agency. And then we have the contents here. So yeah, as you can see, sample ends here. So I like that, actually. We're not suddenly going to go, oh, wait, where we're going from here. So it tells us what the Triangle Agency is, the mission, values, reporting to work, field work, general employment, the anomaly retrieval missions, anomaly retrieval equipment, anomaly retrieval outcomes, and a perfect mission. Great, I like that. I assume that's only like the first part of the field agent manual. And you can see here, like, there's a little bit more. Oh, I see. No, there at the sorry, I can see that this is a whole bit all the way up to Oh, interesting. That's a different number there. 225 anomaly detail. Quite funny. But we can see here, so like the first 136 pages is this field agent manual, and then we get a little bit more on the general manager, and then we get the playable documents. The playable documents then probably makes up like over 100 pages of extra stuff, so that's quite interesting. So hopefully then this first chapter will give us an idea of what we're looking for, and hopefully some mechanics as well. That's what I'm kind of looking for there. But I love the layout of it. The vibe of it is just so strong, and I feel like the language as well, it gets you into that sense of like we've all been in those HR trainings, you know. That's what I feel from there. And I like how on the side here we've got the color. Oh, and I see if I go down a little bit, it's going to tell you exactly what's on each page as well as you're flicking through. So again, that's really cool to have that as a handbook, an employee's handbook. Very, very cool. All right, so we've got, and it looks like, again, just checking it quickly in terms of numbers, each chapter is like 2 pages, so like a spread. So that's really good as well. It's on the off, like you're not having to like skip through pages and pages. And if you can find it easily with this referencing on the left, that will be really cool as well. So yeah, I like that. All right, let's dive in and have a look. We're on page 10, so we're going to find out what the triangle agency is. Sounds good. All right. I will say, I always dislike 2 columns and stuff, but that's fine. Maybe it's a little bit small in terms of text, so that's why I've zoomed in quite a bit, but that's okay. This looks like work for a job I never wanted. But what if you want to play a game where you have a job, you come home from your actual job, and you're right, you know what, I'm going to play a corporate job. So it says here, so what is Triangle Agency? So Triangle Agency is and then square brackets, private corporation tabletop role-playing game dedicated to understanding and containing paranormal phenomena in the modern world. These phenomena are known as anomalies, which again is in bold and in blue. So that's interesting, isn't it? Like they've gone red, like the game, not only are they like bold and emboldening game terms here, so I've got field agent, resonance, all that sort of thing in black, but then we've got anomalies and triangle edges, I guess making these, I don't know what the significance of the colours are. Presumably red is like maybe setting, and then blue maybe is like obstacles, maybe. And these are extremely dangerous. Whilst the agency employs a wide range of support staff, this square brackets document / game is primarily concerned with the entry-level position of the field agent. I guess what they're trying to do here is like break that immersion of like, hey, this is a, you know, Triangle Energy, this is corporate, but it's like, it's a role-playing game, you know, and it's like, this document, game, you know. So I understand why they're doing it. I think they should just, I feel like they should just commit like to it, you know. But I get, maybe like say like this is, you know, this is fully a book, and we're all sort of in on the joke, a little bit like in how in Paranoia we're all in the joke that we will betray each other, we're all troubleshooters, and the friend computer will kill us, you know. That's the sort of thing. Nathan says, it's like Delta Green, but less fatalist. And then brackets, kind of. That is fair. Yes, Delta Green is probably a good shout for this as a touchstone as well. So whilst the agency employs, oh, I've said that, haven't I? These employees use their wits, charm, and expendability to further our mission in the wider world, often spending more time out of the office than within it. Field agents / player characters are hired for their status as resonants, mundane beings who have bonded with anomalies and gained supernatural powers. At the agency, we believe everyone deserves to choose their future. Resonants, when discovered, are offered a choice between the special privileges of an agent or the typical captivity of an anomaly. We are glad that you chose the former. Again, I like the idea that you could absolutely see this. Again, if you're playing this game, I instantly imagine like giving briefings and stuff like that. You have like that like televised like hello and welcome to Triangle Agency, you know, clock in and save the world. It's that sort of like horrific sort of safety briefing. I'm thinking of like, maybe this is where my brain jumps to, but you know, when it's like, if there is, in case of a nuclear attack, you must do the following, and then you're having all these like cartoonesque like, you know, characters like, you know, hiding under tables or going, oh, it's what's it called in Loki? It's the time agency in Loki, and you have Miss. She's not called Miss Clocks, is she? She's called something else, but that sort of character. That's the kind of vibe. You have a mascot that does it. That's how I see it. Disregarding agency protocol, misusing your anomalous abilities, or requesting irresponsible amounts of sick leave may lead to premature termination of your employment. Thankfully, this has never happened. Amazing. Scooby2 says, I get where you're coming from, but in my opinion, I'm sure they want people who aren't very familiar with TTRPGs to get into the game, so not specifying things like field agent and player character might confuse the layman. You know, your average person. No, I absolutely agree. I think it just, I guess for me, who has, yeah, obviously I'm coming from a position that has, I have played a lot of games. I just feel like because they've done so much on that work of like, here's the vibes of the game. That's the only thing I'd say is like just go full hog. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I 100% agree. You want to get people who maybe haven't played games before? Absolutely. So role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game. So role-playing games are a workplace efficiency technique involving disassociation from your immediate circumstances by pretending you are at a table in home, conference room, or virtual space. In our world, reality, you will experience many dangerous, terrifying, and difficult to comprehend situations. The tabletop role-playing game provides you with a measure of protection and emotional distance. One member of your field team will assume the role of General Manager, or GM, and take responsibility for describing your team's circumstances, directing focus, and speaking on behalf of the people you encounter. You can tell I've done some voiceovers like this before. The rest of you, as field agents, will describe the thoughts and actions of your characters and those most important to them. This is called role-playing. You get to pretend that you are not living in the stresses of your current moment and instead are enjoying a refreshing beverage at the imaginary table of your choice. The agency is happy you're happy. Win-win. We recommend you embrace your imaginary life, leaving the table in between missions to experience a separate, mundane existence wherein you have entirely different relationships, superstitions, and employment is totally normal and a common part of the exercise. Don't forget to clock in on your return. I'm in. I love the writing. I think it's great. Let's look on this side. So again, we've got these. Again, I can just imagine it. These corporate like icons that you have to be like super friendly at work. It's great. So necessities for participation. Each of the following is required for a satisfactory and productive workday/play session. So we have like an icon of like 5 individuals around a circle. It says 1 to 5. I think I actually know which bloody icon set that is from as well. I think I've used it in my old work. Your voice sounds like when they explain what the bakers are going to do with illustrations during Great British Bake Off in the best way. Oh, that's very kind of you. Says Samantha Samantha has got her ice cream out of the fridge, but disaster is about to strike. Between 1 and 5 other agents. These are often already provided by the agency and experienced as family, friends, and acquaintances. If you're having trouble finding your assigned field team, we recommend looking online. You're likely simulating tables in distant geographical locations. And then it says 6 4-sided dice. And what's interesting here, I presumably they've made this icon here, but they've made the icon to be like the dice itself. So you got the pyramid style, and then it has 3 in the red at the top, and it's 6 times. So again, at a glance, this icon is really good as a visual thing. It's just a shame there's obviously no alt text. So I can't tell, like it says like 1 to 5 here, it's probably going to say this. No, it doesn't even say the 6 here. So imagine if it just says, you have that little bit of text saying like what it is. It's helpful, just in case these images don't load. That's the only thing I'd say. I mean, to be fair, it does say what these mean. It's just like an additional thing, so that between you need the following, like 1 to 5 other agents, 6 4-sided dice, a pliable mind, easy to subject to influence. You know, so it says 6 4-sided dice. The only important number is 3. If you set your dice displays, if your set of dice displays unnecessary numbers, you are encouraged to remove them. And then it says a pliable mind, and we have like an image of like an outline of someone's head and an apple which looks like it's swirling in the middle. A pliable mind, easy subject to influence. If you/your table self enjoys other tabletop role-playing games, you already have this in your possession. If not, for your safety, we recommend signing up to our training program on the 4th wall, suspension of disbelief, kayfabe, and sense of wonder. Cracking. Absolutely cracking. I love this. This has properly changed my mood. I wasn't feeling great this morning, and now I'm like going, do I want to do this? Great. Damn Scout, hello friend. Of note, the official game dice coloured, so it's easy to see the freeze. Yes, we saw it when we had a look at the physical copy as well. So, because that's always the thing, you always go, do I need special dice for a game? I've already got, you know, tons of D4s and stuff like that. But it's so cool that yeah, like I think it's like making it obvious like threes are important. So yeah, I think that's a cracking thing. So yeah, thanks for that. Measuring success. From this point forward, your behaviour can earn commendations and demerits, our way of determining your value as an employee/player. You will learn more about these metrics later. For now, understand that commendations are awarded for exceptional actions/people, and demerits are distributed for selfish or embarrassing behaviour. Or embarrassing behaviour. Oh, tag yourself. And then it says we've got a little box here. Again, I love it because it feels so much like a document I've read at work. It says, human flaw alert. It is possible that weak-willed individuals may perceive certain information in brackets like this. Oh no, I've been seen. This is a known side effect of the psychological friction that comes from the tabletop role-playing game technique clashes with your lived experience. It should reduce in frequency as you acclimatise to your position. Great. That's great. It's almost as if it heard me. And then we have our mission. Wow, look at this image here. So we've got that same triangle thing in the middle here. Again, imagine this will be in the middle of a book, in the middle of a spread, and you have those waves coming out. Very cool. It says our mission. It says stabilize reality. Let me move this across so people can see. And again, that's so interesting as well. So we've still got, it's using a lot of the space as well. That's the one thing I always say about certain books. If I zoom out a little bit so people can see, none of this space, try again. None of the space is wasted. I go back, like obviously here, again, it feels like this is important, like the start, there's the heading. So I forgive it for like a big white space here, but everything else, like I feel like it's got everything. Like maybe this could be a little bit bigger, the terms and conditions, but I really like how it feels very well laid out to be a boring document. I get anxiety waiting for the rules asking for sick and vacation days off, and you have to travel back in time to make up the days. Oh no, don't say that. That's probably quite true. The subtle humour we've got, again, that paranoia, almost like a bit like Monty Python-esque as well. Again, it feels very Severance, as someone said in the chat. So yeah, I like that. But yeah, look at this image there at the back. That just, because that easily, this could have been one page, right? This particular thing, this could have all been put together as one page. But they've decided to be like, no, we'll use the space up here to have this big impacting piece, and then put the text readable in these things, and then with these icons as well. I really like that. It just really stands out. And I can imagine, again, if you've got a physical copy of it, really cool. I could also see, look at that there. We'll come to it in a second, but I love that. I love locked away individual things. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. Oh no, I've mucked this up already. How have I done this? Okay, over here. Perfect. There we go. So it says, the universe was not meant to be observed. Observation creates thought. Thought shapes reality. You know what I realised? This is my my interpretation of like a Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You know, if you've ever read the book or listened to the film, listen to the audio series, or even like Stephen Fry doing the little segments, that's how I imagine this is. That's what it is. An especially large accumulation of similar thoughts, or a particularly potent single thought, can create an unnatural distortion of what is right and true. We call these distortions anomalies. Anomalies are extremely dangerous. They must be captured and contained lest they tear a hole in reality, leaving us vulnerable to the forces far greater than any mundane mind can imagine. Triangle Agency, a private corporation acting in the public interest, rises to this challenge. Without the agency, there is chaos, and where there is chaos, there is destruction, suffering, and heartbreak. As a field agent, you're joining a long lineage of employees across the centuries and globe bearing the universe's continued existence on their shoulders. Luckily, maintaining order in this chaotic world is a thankful job. Here is your first of many. Thank you. Oh, it's great. Oh, the humour is great. I love this. This is good fun. It's also very easy to read. it's also very like, again, it flows off the tongue. Like, again, it's not too jargony as we were sort of talking about before with that when we talked about how you win, lose the time war. I love this. It's so subtle. Again, yeah, it's very paranoia and that sort of like, but like not. It doesn't feel too dark. Presumably later on it gets feel dark, but I love that. It feels, yeah. Thank you. And you know what? It feels very much, and maybe this is a very just me reference, but it feels that much of like, during the pandemic in the UK, we did the thing where we thanked all the key workers, and we did that by clapping at a certain time every week, like banging pots of pans. And it was like, it's a nice gesture to do. Ultimately, it means nothing. As someone said, like, what if I have to ask for a sick day? It's like, no, we're just gonna clap. No raises, no nothing. We're just gonna clap. Say well done. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly. It's that sort of thing. It's like, thank you, and then we just move on. It's like, wait, hang on. This is a big burden to bear. Yeah, no, we thank you for your service. Good luck. It says here, why a corporation? An organisation capable of combating the great threat anomalies pose needs to consolidate money and resources efficiently and easily within higher autonomy and low oversight. Government-aligned organisations are, by necessity, subservient to political interests. As a private corporation, the agency is able to serve only the mission with no ulterior motives. Well, I call bullshit on that. Absolutely. To fund our mission, we develop and sell a wide range of products on every aisle of the store. Our subsidiaries like Ripple Clean, Realistic Clothing, and Staples for the modern horse take advantage of Anomalous power to create unique, reliable, and competitively priced merchandise. They also provide a public face for the agency, ensuring your day-to-day work is uninterrupted by pesky inquisitors and regulators. I love this. Staples. So, again, I know we've not gone into it, but I like the idea, like, the overarching theme is that you're working with this corporate, but then you're put into, like, again, like, if you're thinking of The Office, it's like a paper-making company, selling paper, or you're doing, like, cleaning products, or you're it's providing a service of some sort. Great. You can have a lot of fun creating that. And it says here with the sort of asterisk, it says, if you're receiving gratitude for work in the field, it is likely you have created a loose end. Eliminate the gratitude or grateful party immediately. Stim, hello friend. I feel like Delta Green and Triangle Agency are two sides of a coin. Yes, we were talking about this earlier. Like, one of the touchstones could be like paranoia, Delta Green, but this feels like, again, maybe it is more forced on that. Maybe it's very corporate America. I don't know. That's like, hi everyone, this is great, and hiding that facade underneath. Like, we can tell the comedic aspect of it, but again, I do see that sort of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, maybe a little bit of Monty Python themes as well. Nathan says, big celebrities singing Imagine from their mansions vibes, yes. The weekly clap was a good marketing line, but useless in practical terms. Exactly. Just like these thank yous. Just like having 700 plus combinations of arc. Alright, let me move this back over. So, we would look at values, but look, they've been scrubbed out. Again, what a great thing. It doesn't have to be in here. It could just be like, oh, access denied. But I think what's interesting, clearly, obviously, it's been written incredibly well, and clearly has been copy edited, so it's like makes the sense. Like, it feels very, the vibes of it is easy to read, corporate. But then it's like clearly gone, well, here we could put something about values, but actually, why don't we just make something up? And so it could be like a really small paragraph, but they've covered like a whole page on it to have that in joke. I love that as a result. So it says values here, and then it's all scrubbed out, and it says access denied. There's like a little pop-up box, as if you have pop-up boxes in an actual book. Access denied. If you would like to view this page in full, please stare at it for a while and imagine what might be on the inside. Interpret possibilities by examining the other pages of this document. When you believe you have figured it out, please write the following on an envelope and personally deliver a report of your understanding to the nearest agency office. To, oh my word, I agree to be held indefinitely. Vault Room 309, Triangle Agency, your town. From your signature. You know what? It's also very much... Oh, hello, Hogan friend. I hope you're doing well. Nice to have you here. I wonder... This feels very Welcome to Night Vale as well. That sort of like, here's things to do. This is clearly a bad idea. Like, I agree to be held indefinitely. I love that. Holy shit, this writing is brilliant. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I said, I wasn't sure about reading like all 300 pages, but now I'm very keen. And again, we're just looking at the sample here, right? So it says reporting to work. Every agency is assigned to a branch, a semi-autonomous unit of business that handles all of the agency's dealings within a given geographical region. Branches are typical, but not always, attached to a single city or town. Each branch has a unique structure and a level of funding that reflects how important they are to our mission. In every branch, you will find a headquarters, a set of employees who handle the day-to-day business, and at least one field team full of agents like you. Oops. Each branch has a unique structure and a level of funding that reflects how important they are to our mission. Oh wait, I've done that wrong, haven't I? I jumped ahead. Decades of rigorous analysis suggest that agents are more effective in places they know well, so you've been likely assigned to a branch that currently serves in your local area. Each branch is unique, but they all fall into two major categories. Major metropolitan areas, others. Most branches are located at the heart of a civic, cultural, or economic centre. The most distinguished of these are the headquarters in stately, gleaming skyscrapers enrobed in lush, wall-to-wall carpeting and bathed in efficient, dependable fluorescent light. Their dozens or hundreds of staff work tirelessly to stabilise reality, serve our customers, and support our affiliates. The hallways within these branches buzz with activities as couriers hand deliver messages, phones ring with the hum of global commerce, and a coffee of everyday strength brews morning, noon, and night. Others may run a lean operation due to a low level of anomalous activity or a high need for discretion. These branches are driven by an admirable dedication to efficiency and can often be seen setting up shop in such diverse settings as an employee's home. That's wild. I love that. It feels very startup, doesn't it? A network of storage units, or an unused section of a sewer unmonitored by city officials. The luckiest of all agents will be hired to work in our Turnion city? I guess. Turnion, yeah. Where our global headquarters resides. The following page provides a glimpse in its lobby, which may soon be your daily view. Or we'll have a quick look at that. Look at that. Oh, you know what? I love books that refer to their art pieces. So it's not just like a do not enter the dog park. Absolutely, Drummer Monkey. Very much feel that. Look at this. Look at this image. And the big triangles there. Amazing. It definitely does feel like concept art that you'd see for like a new, like, this is what we envision. Welcome to Triangle Agency. Great though. Let's look at the other bits. Alright, moving that across. It says, make sure you can see that. Yeah. Other. Agents who live in rural regions can expect to shoulder a burden no less grave, merely less concentrated. These branches tend to cover a wide area of sparsely populated land and are best for agents who like a slower pace and mobile lifestyle. Here, you'll frequently find yourselves patrolling residential neighbourhoods, taking statements from local business owners, and venturing away from dependable cellular service. I think I can hear a storm happening outside. I can see that it's very grey where I am. I'm just going to check the weather quickly. Severe wind advisory has been issued. Cool. Great. I'm sure it's fine. The agency will save me. Headquarters for these branches commonly provide both space and privacy for their employees. Many are outfitted with lavish wooden paneling, overstocked furniture from the Triangle at Home collection. Oh, amazing! I feel very Target at Home, Tesco collection. I love that. And up to one refrigerator. Recent surveys have revealed that these remote offices average a bulletin board to employee ratio approaching 2 to 1. Let's get those numbers up. Hello, Evil Bread. Hello, another RPG for those boring triangles. Well, I think you'll find these triangles. I think we're onto something there. Also, triangles with the top ones, right? Because it goes. This is from No Thank You Evil, our stream on that. We had circles, squares, and triangles. Triangles are the high ones there. I need some book worthy. I need a book worthy of a circle like me. Oh, that's true. Yes, its circle has got infinite size. That's right. Well, I think the triangles have this one. It sounds really cool, Evil Bread. Whether in a park, an office park, a hunting lodge, or retrofit pizza franchise, rural branches trade in the power and prestige of their urban counterparts for a working life perfectly tailored for their needs. No, circles atop. Yes, no, I remember now. What a great image. Again, it's just a shame that there's no alt text. I know I'm picking on it a little bit, but it's very hard to find anything to criticize. I will trust you, Fiona. Oh, thank you. Trust in me. All right, let's move this back. Field work. I will zoom in a little bit. Also, I love. Can you see that little triangle person there? You know what? It's interesting. I love the different art styles we have. Like, we've got obviously really cool like concept art here of like what building looks like. We have like little icons. You can just see that over there, like the icons that are used for like business stuff. And then we have like your individual art pieces and whatnot, like flow diagrams. It feels very natural. Like, if it doesn't feel like it's all pushed together. Going back to what we were talking about with the No Thank You Evil, there's lots of different art styles that were sort of mashed together, and there was some not for my taste, but there's some very, I think we remember those children's with big heads, those really big heads which were really creepy. Wow, I don't know if anyone saw that. There was a massive lightning strike outside. We're okay, don't worry. I'll block that person though. You probably can hear the rain that's hitting on my roof. There you go. You get. I think the agency's coming, guys. So. Yeah, so if I cut out, it's probably because my internet's gone down, but we'll be okay, I think. We'll see. We're almost finished this, I can see. All right, let's, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And it says, field work. This entry-level position/game is primarily concerned with field work, the business of patrolling, investigating, and influencing the mundane work to further the agency's mission. As field agents, you have 3 priorities. Oh, I think it's hail that's coming down. Oh. 1. Preserve reality for mundane beings. First and foremost, you must keep knowledge of the anomalies a minimum in the wider world. To measure your success, the agency tracks loose ends, people with experience or evidence of the supernatural. Okay, loose ends. I like these terminologies. I wonder, again, people will be able to triangles trying to cancel the stream with the high weather, with the weather. Yes, no, absolutely. I wonder, again, those people who have the full book will probably be able to tell me if there's like an appendix at the back or glossary at the back which goes through all these game terms in that sort of same jargon speak. Because I think that would be very cool. Apprehend anomalies for storage in the vault. Whether by enticement or exhaustion, wild anomalies must be brought to safety in the vault, a special containment facility in a secret location with entrances at every agency branch. There they can be studied and preserved rather than eliminated. Lucky them. I can hear the hail. Wow, it must be pretty. Well, I'm not going out today. It seems like. You show too much of their secrets. Lo-fi triangles to study to relax to. Pretty serious. A night whale for the win. Yes, exactly. Very night whale, isn't it? Control yourself for long-term employability. Residents like you are permitted to use anomalous abilities in the pursuit of items 1 and 2, but are expected to maintain professionalism to resist the temptation to abuse those abilities elsewhere. So again, that vibe of like in Paranoia, you're troubleshooters, and some of you may gain like it's like special powers, like mutant powers, I think they're called, and a friend computer does not like that, so you have to be very careful when you use those sort of things. There's secret factions as well. So I quite like, again, the vibes of this. But this feels like definitely, whereas Paranoia is very much more like, it's my way of describing it is like, it's like Blackadder, the RPG, in the sense of like you're constantly throwing other people under the bus, trying not to get killed by friend computer, but then obviously you come back as another clone and stuff like that, so that sort of vibe. Don't forget your sunblock and hail armor. You're right. I must put that on when I go out. But here it feels like we're all working together. I wonder, I guess my question would be, how much of this, like, with Paranoia, you sort of play into that theme of betrayal and like worry that your character is going to get killed and like being a bit, I don't want to say snivelly, but like that sort of humor of it, that dark humor of it. Is that the same for this game? That you like? The game itself is just like, it's like, you are field agents and you are expendable. Like, are you playing into that going like, oh, we're expendable, we better be, like, you know what I mean? Like, are we playing this seriously, or are we playing this with that lead into like that vibe? I assume it is the latter, because it reminds me of I can't remember which Warhammer RPG it was. I think it was maybe it was Soulbound or Wrath and Glory. Basically, the idea of like a Warhammer is one of the ones in space, which I know is not helpful, but it felt like all the stuff on it seemed very glorious and like, yes, we're going to fight for the Emperor. And then when I played it, it turned out to be like Blackadder, the thing where we were like, oh no, did you say something heretical? No, did you say something heretical? And that was the vibe of it. And I love that. I love that sort of idea of like leaning into the comedic aspect of it, because then it could really inform my characters, especially if I didn't know anything about the lore. So I wonder here, like I don't get me wrong, I really love this. Like it feels very fun to play, but I don't know what my character would be like. Am I competent and I'm playing it almost like voice of reason, or am I being a bit like, oh no, what do we do? Evil Bread says, I like the idea of a few lives, rivalries, and other teammates and trying to escape utopian. Yeah, that's probably. Nave says, I won't spoil the full thing. Great. But yes, it leans into a lot of the vibes of players having questions about the agency. Perfect. Yes. No, yes, that makes sense. Like the general manager will have a lot more. That's really cool to know. Actually makes me want to then read the full book as a result of that. That's really interesting. Because yeah, for me, this kind of game as a player, I love this sort of thing. But me running it for players who maybe want to have that, am I doing this? What's my motivation? You know what I mean? I love the unknown. I love like playing around and find, heck around and find out, that sort of vibe, So that's really good. Sam Size says, I'm playing a very tired coffee maker who is a middle level manager. I'm guessing that's what you're saying, but trying properly hard to do his job well. Ah, cool. I like that. Cool. That's good to know that you're not like playing like interns, or you're not playing super high things. Like you can choose and verify. That's quite cool. Have a variety. That's really cool. All right. Sorry, I'll get back to the book. I was just thinking those thoughts out loud. All right. General employment. Between missions, there's plenty of work to be done. All agents are assigned a competency, which describes the work you do or in service to. Describes the work you do in or in service to the office. You might monitor our image as a public relations employee, serve drinks in the lobby as a barista, or relax in the plush recliners of the CEO department. There are 9 options for entry-level employees explained near the end of this manual. Field work is mandatory, but your commitment to the work between missions will determine how far you climb in the company. When the time comes to decide where you fit long term, your hours in the office and resistance to outside distractions will heavily influence your placement. You are permitted to continue your mundane life outside the agency, but your friends, family, and acquaintance must not know the details of your work. Please remember that for a Renaissance resident like you, a mundane life is a privilege. Our priority is to the agency's mission, and yours should be as well. For additional details, please consult the following graphic. It's a trolley problem. That's really cool. Sam Size says, the game really helps you think about motivations for a bunch of mechanics like others have alluded to. Oh, brilliant. I like that. So we have presumably a mascot of the Triangle Agency, like someone in a suit with a triangle face with a thumb out, and there's like a lever, and we have a trolley come to it. And they're saying, what a simple, uncomplicated decision. And we have the trolley problem going towards lots of people on the track, and then it splits off to another person on the track. So you have to switch the track in order to have the trolley go over to the individual in red. And the track with the most people on says everything in existence and the reality and the future of all reality. And then it says for the one person, it says the unnecessary indulgence of mundane desire. Yeah, I'm very much getting I'm very much getting that low-key, the time department, the time agency vibes from this as well. Makes me think of Control. Yes, somebody else said Control in the chat as well. Absolutely. All right, and then we're on to the final couple of pages for the sample. So it says, anomaly retrieval missions. The most common brackets mission/play session has 3 parts. Morning meetings. Your general manager will introduce scenes from your daily lives in the time leading up to your mission. This eases your team into the role-playing game technique with low-pressure conversations whilst you perform your general agency duties or spend time with a mundane relationship. Eventually, you will be called in for a briefing, which will detail your admissions leads. Then it goes down to, and there's like a little like individual sort of pointing to a PowerPoint presentation of some sort with 3 people watching. It then goes down to, in a sort of flow diagram thing, it's like footprints and a magnifying glass. And it says investigation. After the briefing provided by your GM, agents will agents investigate leads to find areas and people affected by the target anomaly. Whilst reducing loose ends wherever possible, you follow the anomaly's trail until you find its place of power, which we call the domain. It then goes down to a final section with a briefcase. You know what? Maybe it's because I'm getting that idea because you've got like some sort of like zapper gun. Maybe it feels like a bit Ghostbusters as well, right? So again, that comedic value of the original Ghostbusters films. Encounter. Once you enter the Anomalies domain, it will be up to you and your fellow agents to endure whatever defences or demands it throws your way. Assuming all goes well, you will capture the anomaly and deposit it in the vault for further research. In less ideal situations, it may escape or need to be neutralised. And then we've got the equipment here. Oh, very cool. I like that. So again, this is like a primer that you would give your players, perhaps, of like, here's all the stuff you need. Oh, hello, Fancy Alice. Come on. Come here. And you have like, again, I like the images and stuff like that, but also the information you have here. Again, it's very simple, straightforward, and it feels like it uses a lot of the space easily. It says here, anomaly retrieval equipment. All teams are equipped with the following requisites. A normal briefcase. This uninteresting and nondescript briefcase is capable of capturing and safely holding an anomaly of any size. Yeah, very Ghostbusters, right? For the normal briefcase to work, the anomaly must be exhausted, calmed, or willing. Successfully capturing an anomaly typically requires identifying its focus, the thought or feeling that has created it. Evil Bread says, triangle head in a suit. So after Silent Hill, he tried a corporal life using his skills in the agency. Very good, very good. Again, as Paranoia, a gun, a set of clothes, and a few items. Then we have the ripple gun here, which is a gorgeous, like, that artwork is great. I love the colour of it. Again, it sort of pops a little bit. It doesn't, like, that's what I like about this whole thing, is that we've got very simplistic iconography for like the work stuff, but then the actual image stuff, they pop with colour and feel very cool. And I don't know if that's because it's like, this is marketing, everyone's happy here. Which again, I just like that. So the ripple gun says here, this weapon was originally a prop from an American science fiction television show in the 1970s. It is the only device known to be able to directly disrupt anomalous resonance. As long as the ripple gun can be aimed directly at an unobstructed target of anomaly, it can be discharged to be neutralized permanently. It can be expended only a single charge before it must be replenished at the agency. So it's like a final resort. Okay. Discharging the ripple gun for any purpose other than neutralizing the mission's target earns the agent 3 demerits. Interesting. So you can't just, again, it's punishing players that may misuse guns. So it's like, this is a final option, and if you misuse it, it's bad. That reminds me a little bit of, there's the Doctor Who role-playing game, which talks about violence. Because in Doctor Who, obviously, the Doctor doesn't use violence and uses other ways for it. And other characters, I say, do in Doctor Who. We've got the Brigadier, uses his gun. But if it says that if you intentionally hurt someone, not only do you get like a demerit or whatever their equivalent is of like getting rid of points, everyone else gets docked points as well because they didn't stop you. And I thought that was really interesting. And I think Rapscallion does something similar as well. Where you get docked points for not going with the vibe of the game, and I feel like, but I'm like, I like that idea, but you need to tell people that because it was kind of hidden away in a bit. It wasn't in the safety briefing or something. And I just think setting expectation is like, here's the vibes of the game. Non-violent means is better rewarded. Like, you know, I guess I know it again, and maybe it's because of the way this is laid out as a work manual. Of course, it's not going to talk about like, hey, don't do this with your table expectations or something like that. But that's the only thing I'd say is that I get why they're doing that. I hate penalising players. I think because I feel really strongly about that Doctor Who one is that, oh, because you didn't stop something, you're going to get penalised for it. And I understand why, but it felt so wild to come out of it like it didn't really talk about like why the Doctor doesn't use violence and all that sort of thing. So that's the only thing I'd say here. I was zoned out, but I'm back. Nice to have you back. It also gives me the vibe of the TV show Severance. Yes, that's what we were talking about as well. We're always sort of like again that sort of humor from Monty Python and Douglas Adams, Severance, Office Space as well. I'd say The Office, that sort of vibe as well. But also like these really cool imagery of like again it's like sort of I would say nebulous sort of 60s, 70s, but then it's like in the future. All really cool stuff. Like now we have this sort of 70s TV show aspect here as well. The ripple gun has a built-in safety that prevents it from discharging at a residence. Ah, so it's no PvP. Okay. Please ensure you never standing between the ripple gun and its intended target. Interesting. And then it says, what is a requisition? Requisition is our catch-all term for any items created through anomalous research. Ah, following your first mission, you'll gain access to many more useful tools like these that you can purchase for easier field work. Okie dokie. Oh, I see, Scooby too. The joke is I'm back because you said the words Doctor Who. Well, not really a joke, really. No, well, to be fair, I also would zone out and be like, well, you said Doctor Who? All right. And then we've got anomaly retrieval outcomes. The agency recognizes only 3 possible outcomes for an anomaly retrieval mission. We have captured, neutralized, and escaped. Captured. And we've got like a little blue suitcase here. The anomaly is delivered via normal briefcase or other method directly to the vault. Yeah, that feels... I'm sure I've seen that sort of thing where it's like, is it X-Files or... I want to say Torchwood that does that sort of thing where they put the like a suitcase or a device... No, well, Ghostbusters does it as well, and then they put the device in and lock it into the vault. This is the ideal mission result, for which all agents will be free accommodations. Awesome. Then we have neutralize. We have the ripple gun there. It says neutralize. The anomaly is destroyed with the ripple gun or other method. This is regrettable, but sometimes necessary. No commendations or demerits rewarded. And then finally, escape. We've got a door with an arrow going through it, and it says, if the anomaly is neither captured nor neutralized, all agents receive 3 demerits. Anomalies allowed to escape become suspicious, harder to capture, or prone to inconvenient revenge seeking. Amazing. Pokemon Monster of the Week is captured via the briefcase. Absolutely. The optional objectives. So for each mission, your GM will issue a few optional objectives throughout during your briefing. So the optional objectives always have a condition and a reward, and these will be typical. Oh, these will typically be between 1 to 3 optional. Oh, hang on. Start all that sentence again. Optional objectives always have a condition and a reward. There will be typically between 1 and 3 optional objectives for a given mission, and they can be fulfilled by any number of times by any combination of agents, unless noted. Try to maximize your commendation earned. Okay, so that's cool. Like again, if you're not sure like what your role is on a mission, be like, here's some conditions that you can make to get points. XP, right? I'm guessing that's what it is. Like XP is the commendation and demerits for development, right? I think that's the key thing that you can just hit and maybe have those triggers for each mission. Some examples could be fire a warning shot, +1 commendation. Speak to a card-carrying member, +3 commendations once per agent. Step on a tile, +1 demerit. These objectives may contain important guidance to aid you in your mission, but they may also fulfill unrelated agency goals. Your GM is neither required nor expected to explain the process behind defining and issuing optional objectives. I like that. Yeah. Again, it gives into that mystery about what the agency is doing and doing it for unknown means. I love it. Okay, and it says here, a perfect mission. Here's an example of a team of field agents performing commandarily on a job. And then this is the play example. Very good, very smart. I like that. So we've got this image here. I'm not going to go through all of this because, again, I don't tend to read out play examples unless I need to. But I like how they've kept it in that style. And it's just almost like a report. It's like reading through what we're doing. But it's also quite short as well, on 1 page. Fabulous. And then, oh, look at that. Well, look at that image. But it goes, wait. This is the end of the Triangle Agency sample pages. We will now determine if your table self is fit for work. If you are chosen to connect with the agents, you will feel compelled to purchase the game Triangle Agency digitally. A link to it there. Does it have a... Oh, that's a shame. There's no link. It's not hyperlinked. Oh, physically at pre-order, that's not working either. You may feel a delay as we work through agents in the queue. This delay will be one of the following flavors. Waiting for payday. Not feeling it right now. Uh-oh, schedule overload. If you're not experiencing any of these but are instead missing the rest of a field team, we recommend, and then it goes to a Discord, excellent, to assist in the calibration process by looking for a group. Our collaborators at a haunted table are also there to help answer your questions. We look forward to working with you. Oh, you've received. Oh, shame. No, but we always said we were going to look at the samples. This is only the first 23-ish pages. Tell you what, though, I do like this. It's very rare that we have at the end of a quick start. Like, we'll be like, oh, come join, here's the QR code stuff. But they've still changed it to be like, still in that vibe of like corporate talking to you. I think it's a shame that these links aren't working. I mean, understandable, it's a demo or whatever, but like to the Discord as well. That's great. I like that. I like being like, hey, come play it on our thing. I think that's cool. Look at this image though. This again, that sort of ending, sort of like a placeholder image with the vibrant sort of like very trippy colors. Love that. Yeah, I think that's cool. And I like the joke again. That's the humor at the end, going like, waiting for payday. Not feeling it right now. Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got this final. Oh, look at this very cool image. Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit. Gosh, I love it. Look at all that candy that person's got in their bowl. So yes, we've got like two so individuals presumably in a break room of some sort, working together. It looks like this individual at the back's like got a pack of playing cards. So yeah, there we go. So that's just a sample of it, and then we've got the back page here with like the lots of different images there. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Triangle entrances, so a little bit more about it there. Very cool. This book includes everything necessary for you and a group of friends to experience the chilling horror, wacky comedy, and emotional truth that can only come from working for reality's most trustworthy corporation, 333 years running. Oh, amazing. Again, I like that. Yeah, there you go. So what do we make of a sample? What do we think? I love it. I think, yeah, I'm glad we checked out the sample. I think if I'd gone for the full 300-page version, I don't know if we would have got through it. I don't know. Again, it's that overwhelmed with like, oh, it's 300 pages. I'm not so sure. And especially when it has a price tag of $30 as well. Because again, you're like, what if I don't like it? But let me tell you, what a joy to read. Again, the writing is immaculate. It gets the vibes across. It's simple to read, straightforward. Sure, there's no game mechanics in this necessarily. It doesn't tell you that because again, it feels like it's just a part of the first 20 pages of the book, right? So it's not going into too much detail about that. It's just trying to get you the vibes and the setting, and I think that's interesting. I think I would like to know what the main mechanic was before I purchased, just because there's been, again, recently when we've done some Too Long Didn't Read, we found settings, we found some really cool ideas for settings and stuff, but then the game itself, the actual mechanic, isn't very good. That's the only thing I'd say is that I would love to have like again just an example of the like what is a dice mechanic. Perhaps that's the only thing. Nathan says, and the quick start doesn't have the wildest chapters in it. We're gonna do a Triangle Agency episode. Well, this is the thing. I feel like this is a cool game. I love the vibe of it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of stuff like Paranoia, a Delta Green, as someone said in the chat as well. Like I love that sort of idea of like working for something but like not entirely sure what's going on. I've seen a little bit of Severance. I love Severance. I don't know if Where will do it, but I think maybe RP Geeks would like this as a stream show. Because again, it's that sort of thing where I think this would work well with people having those small moments as well, and a longer series of it rather than maybe a one shot of it. I know One Shot obviously has done Triangle Agency and this. I guess my criticisms or sort of critique would be like, again, we always need some alt text for these things, but I do think like the text in it has all the information, so that if for whatever reason the image doesn't show, if we have one of the icons that doesn't show, we're not missing out. It's not currently not having any contained image in there. I think the imagery, the illustrations as well, they're different, right? Because we've got the mixture of the workplace sort of vibe, but then obviously these cool, like, I want to say anime type or cartoonish images or like ideal interpretations of stuff. They fit very well together, and I will say this is one of the best. Like look at this image again. This is sort of image I would have like as a a background. I'd love it to have like as a picture on my wall. The vibrancy of it looks really cool. You know what it reminds me of? Going back to Doctor Who. Doctor Who used to do those posters in the Matt Smith era where it'd be like, a crack in time or whatever, and it would just be the Doctor like in a like almost like a movie poster. This is like the movie poster for Triangle Agency, and I really like that. I think this image of the triangle, the repeated like idea of the triangle throughout things is really cool as well. Again, I can see that as postcards or posters like behind. Like I can imagine this like being artwork in like an office in a Triangle Agency. I love how the setting of like yes, the Triangle Agency has other like subcategories of stuff, including the Triangle at Home collection. Stable horses for stables for the modern horse. Great. It's just that little bit of humor, really cool. I don't know. It just makes me think of like, if this, then what else? So I think this would work really well for improvisers as well. They'd be like, where else can we go from here? What can you fit in here? Also, very Severance with the elevator in the show. Absolutely. Yeah. There's some elements of the game that make it seem like it worked best in a long series. Well, it said in the marketing copy, this is a game that's meant for 10 to 30 missions, which again, in this sample, it's not clarified how long a mission is. I assume it is it's literally this, like an retrieval mission like this, the 3 parts. Sorry, let me move this across. But who knows how long that will take? Will that take a session? 2? I assume 1 is ideal, because then, and so in that case, if that is the case, 1 session is 1 mission, and you do 10 missions. That's 10 sessions. If each session is then 3 hours, and not including session 0 as well, I think this does a good job of grabbing you in and take you in, compared to say a game like Good Society, which I love, by the way. I saw Quinn's Quest did a review of Good Society on his blog in Patreon, and I think it was very interesting because he did like the game overall. His quibble was with some of the mechanics, and I agree. But with that game, with Good Society, because you're basically creating like a Jane Austen novel, and it's a lot of slow burn, a lot of like character development and stuff like that. But to have a full version of that game takes I think minimum 6 to 8 cycles with 8 sessions or cycles, each one being 3 hours. And I think that's a really hard sell if people aren't in on the ground floor with like, we want to do a Jane Austen like book or novel, especially if it's more like role play-esque. Here we know what we're doing, we know who we are. We can easily come up with some fun characters. We can lean into that wacky humour or the dark humour of it. And it is Final Anomalies done. I think 1 session is enough to then go, ooh, I want to play more of this, because then you can have those overarching themes of like, something's not right here. A little bit like, we think like Brindlewood Bay, specifically, because again, I know that's slightly different in terms of mystery. But if a mystery is contained in 1 session, you can still put in little bits about like, there's something overarching, and having that overarching TV show. Maybe that's what it is. This is like a TV show, is that you can do these separate, like, again, Monster of the Week type episodes like Buffy, but then have the overarching story and then come to the end. So yeah, really interesting. Really liked it. Yeah, I think these would tend to go to longer sessions. Anomaly of the Week, very good, very good. Well, if the one shot was 3 hours, that helps. Yes, absolutely. But what I think is that if people really enjoy it, they want to make sure they have time to develop the characters and stuff, rather than... That's something I find recently, is that people want to spend time and get to know the characters because then they feel like they've done a good job. That's what I was finding with the Blades of the Dark series that we're doing just now on RP Geeks, is that people want to like make meaningful connections and show stuff in terms of backstory. And I'm just like going, we find out who play. That's how we do it. So giving the time to do it. But yeah, there you go. That is just in time for the agency to leave that weather pattern. That is Triangle Agency, friends. So yeah, like I said, is it worth the $30? I feel on a gut it probably is, right? I mean, obviously we looked at the sample yet. I do have a copy, and I think, yeah, would I run this game? Whether it's for content for one of my podcasts or shows, or would I run it for offline? And I think the answer is obviously yes. I think the writing has really got me. As people say, it's very unusual. I think that you can have a lot of fun in it. But so I think this sample is really good. What I'd be curious to know, and again, this is for my own reading, is to be like, how how do we develop characters? What is the main game mechanic? Is it more player led, or is it more general manager led? And the anomalies, like, what are we coming up with? Like, is there lots of stats, all that sort of thing? Because that's the only thing that I think I'm bought into the concept for sure. It'd be nice to see the mechanics, but you know what? It's a sample. It's not a quick start. I mean, that's the key thing here. Oh, sorry, I should have clarified. The first 40 minutes or so of seeing every character in their day-to-day life and finding out the anomaly is another stuff. So 3 hours including some backstory stuff before they got into the meeting 50 minutes in. Right, well that's it, isn't it? I do feel like, yeah, that's an interesting one. How much do you do of like everyday character stuff? I think for me, I like starting stuff with just like a montage or a vignette. That's what I've been doing with Blades in the Dark. In Blades in the Dark, the playtest 68. It's a really cool concept where you do the opening titles, and that's where you can, the GM, the general manager, describes something like the landscape, or whatever, and then you throw to one of the characters like, "What are you doing in this montage?" At the opening credits. Think of like what I always go to is like Murder She Wrote, like Angela Lansbury's on her bike and she's waving, and then we cut back to me and I describe something else, and then I hand it over to another player, and they're like, "Oh, I'm cutting stuff in my garden," and it just shows a little bit of to get an idea of what they are, and then we've always established that we don't need to have long scenes taking the time for the players to know because they already know. I don't know. I have very different views on it now. Like I get the slow emotional burn. I don't know if this is a slow emotional burn game. That's the thing. I don't know. Oh, that's not my idea. That's just what they did on one shot. No. I agree. I think take the time to go for it and then have the 50 minutes. It's fine if you've got time to do it, right? Because I feel majority of one shots in general now are like 3 hours and a break in the middle, which I absolutely agree with. But I feel the more you put into it, if it's like a 4-hour one, just that little extra, people go, "Oh wow, we got really a lot out of it." But I think then people's time and attention span goes down as well. So yeah, I think different horses for courses. But yeah, whatever they feel is works for them. So yeah, I feel like, again, if you're treating this like a TV show, and I'm thinking of stuff like Penny Dreadfuls and The Between and that sort of thing. It's like you don't know anything about the characters, but then they flash back to do stuff, and that's when we find out about the characters. I think that's always interesting. And now the group creations. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I definitely think I would love to. I think I would definitely love to play this game. I think because I love the vibes of it. I think I'd love that. I find it. I would again. I think I will have to have a look at the general manager stuff in terms of what it looks like. I think it'll be very cool to see. I do wonder about what is the system in terms of like cognitive load on the players and how creative they have to be, or whether the general manager has to come up with a lot of stuff. The mystery elements of it in terms of like what's the agency up to as a player, I think could be really fun. I love that sort of stuff as a player. So yeah. Great to run with an annoyingly late half-an-hour pizza party with the GM looming, enforcing the 2-slice limit and the store brand soda. I like that. And yeah, this is behind the scenes info for you. They usually start out typically 3 hours, 20 minutes, and then they are cut down to an overall just to 3. Yeah, oh, very interesting. And that's the stuff for your one-shot stuff. Nice. But yeah, fantastic. I will close this on. But yeah, please feel free, if this has been interesting to you, yeah, go check it out. I will definitely be checking out Triangle Agency. And yeah, thank you guys for joining. I very much appreciate all the chat and stuff like that. I'm glad it was something of interest to you guys as well, because that's the thing I thought to myself, I want to do this, but I don't know if I've got time to do all 300 pages. But it was nice to do, like, again, a little sample to go, oh yeah, that's quite cool. So yeah, I think it's a great sample, and I'm keen to know more. So yeah, and I'm sure if Sam Side's still in the chat, I don't know if you're doing your Triangle Agency for your different projects as well coming up. I assume there's going to be more stuff coming out about Triangle Agency. And also check out, obviously, the one-shot podcast version of Triangle Agency that came out about a month or so ago, I think. Let me know, Shahig, if that's right. So, yeah, Ivan Fiona. Hello, that's me. Fun stream as always. Oh, thank you very much. I very much appreciate your chat. It's nice. Whilst I don't mind shouting into the void, it's always nice to have people's opinions and stuff, because I definitely let people pick up things that I don't. So I very much appreciate it. As always, I am the host of What Am I Rolling, which is a twice-monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast. If you've enjoyed this idea of like time travel stuff, and maybe you want slow burn between two people, go check out the latest episode that I did with the wonderful Dylan, who is the host of One Shot podcast, which was The Words We Leave Behind, which is inspired by that. This is how we win or lose the time war. I never remember which one it is. Ended about a month ago. Yeah, brilliant. Where again is that idea of like getting emotional character stuff. It was a great game, really enjoyed it. But we've got lots of other games on there as well. Some silly, fun, wacky ones. We've got some more slow burn ones, some solo ones as well. So go check them out. We've also got interviews in game designers. Love that episode. Oh, that's very kind of you. I very much appreciate it. I'm glad it came together. It was one of those. I was quite proud of it. I'm also one half. Ooh, she says trying to. Sorry, the cat's on my lap, so instantly it's very difficult to type with things one-handed. I'm also one part of the DM's Book Club, which is a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons and Dragons and discuss how we might include them in our role-playing campaigns. I know an episode is either going to go out now or in 2 hours. I love daylight saving time. And yeah, we've got a few other episodes coming up. We're going to look at a few more settings coming out and stuff like that. And we'll just have a good time talking about TTRPGs in general. It doesn't have to be D&D related, but I know that's a place where most people start. Maybe, you know what, that's going to be interesting. Maybe I'll suggest Triangle Agency for an upcoming DM's Book Club. That could be quite fun. Finally, if you are like, Fiona, where can we see more of you actually doing some RPG stuff live? Check out the RP Geeks. It is a weekly nerdy TTRPG show with epic stories and fascinating facts, where we do lots of different TTRPGs, and I'm 1/3 of them now, which is very exciting. I'm running Blades in the Dark for them just now, and I'd say things are getting weird with doors. I love it when people get very frightened of little things like doors. So yes, come check it out. We had the wonderful Josephine McAdam on last night as our wonderful guest, and let's say, like, again, absolute praise for Josephine. Obviously, someone who's played so many games of Blades, loves it with all their heart, and honestly, it was an absolute joy. Evil Bread says, D&D is not a bad place to start playing. Absolutely. And yeah, and I say this all the time. It's like, it's one of those things, start off playing, but don't be limited to it. Like, as we've seen here, I'm like, oh my god, Triangle Engine sounds so fun. Absolutely, I would not run it with the D&D system. That's the thing. That I'm glad we have now so many other options. Exactly that. But yeah, go and check us out with the Blades in the Dark story. I hope people are enjoying it. I really love that system. I feel like it's very creative and it encourages people to make big swings and stuff like that. And it's an unusual system, I think, even though it's been out for over 10 years. So yeah, please go check it out. As I said, I am changing the schedule for these Too Long Didn't Reads because I keep missing them and like changing things last minute, and I hate doing that because I love doing them and I don't want to mess people around. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm limiting them to once a week, and I'm going to do them on Wednesdays. So hopefully it'll be a bit more consistent, if a little less, and then we'll build back up again. Next week though, I have planned a stream called that's going to start at 11 a.m. Central Time, called Savior. This is another Too Long Didn't Read, and it's I don't know, it seems like to be a solo game. It's a voice recording and journaling experience for one traveller set in the limits of space and communities living within vast galaxies. Travellers enter communities, experience their wonders, and try to prevent the fall of them from systematic and society issues. So yeah, I think it's a solo game, which I know might be of interest to Shahik in the chat. But yeah, so I'm going to try and build it up again slowly but surely. And then on the same Wednesday next week, in the evenings, so I've got it down as 7:30 Central Time, we've got our one-shot that's happening. I need to do a social for it. But yes, we're doing a one-shot on the One-Shot Podcast Network Twitch stream, Alan Wants Magic. We're doing it as part of their Kickstarter or backer kit, on their funding for it. And yeah, we've got the wonderful game designer of it. We've got Shahig, who's in the chat, Ben, who was in the chat earlier, and we've got Shahig, who obviously edits the One Shot podcast, and a Roll by Myself, a new solo actual play, which you absolutely should check out. We've got Ben from Roleplay Retcon, who's also going to be on it, and then we've got John from Sister Mastery as well. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be it's a conversational post-fantasy world-building TTRPG. So lots of creative, lots of like world-building prompts and discussions about stuff, and that's what I love. I love building worlds. I always find it really fun. So yeah, come and check it out. Fantastic. All right, team. I'm going to love you and leave you. Like I said, we're probably going to do these just weekly for now until I get a bit more settled with a proper routine. But yeah, let us know. I think sorry. Yeah. Oh, must. I keep forgetting to do this. Final two things. If you're interested and want to come chat to us about TTRPGs of any kind, come join the Where and DM's Book Club Discord. We'd love to have you there. Again, we just talk about things that we like, and we're just a really lovely community. So come check us out there. And finally, I need to promote myself. If you've enjoyed this, like I said, I don't make any money off doing this or anything like that, and obviously I'll keep doing them. But if you feel like I've done an all right job, you like my work, feel free to if you've got any donations spare, please feel free to give us some money on Ko-fi. Any of it goes straight back into like supporting the show and stuff like that. I'm currently not working just now. I'm trying to do a bit more of a creative year, but at some point I'll have to go back to work. But anything that can help the podcast just keep going, keep the lights on for a little bit, whilst I'm sort of just finding my feet and all that sort of thing. But please don't feel that you have to. But if you feel like you've enjoyed it, think about it. But otherwise, we'll see you next time for another Too Long Didn't Read next Wednesday for Saviour. All right, team. Much love. I'm going to find the off stream button. I'm going to see how the storm's done. And see you next time, friends. Bye.